So today I've got a bit of a test ride of an MT10. As the more eagle-eyed amongst you will probably know, I ride an MT09, which is in having a recall done today, so I thought I'd take this out for a spin. And the two Steves at Motorcycle Mart deserve my thanks for sorting me out, as they always do. Thank you very much. As you can see, it's still an aggressive looking beast. It's been criticised a lot over the last year or so for the front end, the headlights, and looks a little bit like Johnny 5 out of Short Circuit, so I'm not too sure about that part, but I've got to say, as for the rest of it, it's a nice machine. It rides well, it sounds beautiful. Here you go, we'll start her up and you can have a listen. Still got the popping and crackling as the 9's got. Maybe not quite as obvious, but that 4-cylinder cross-plane crank engine does sound nice. It's a shame they haven't stuck with the underslung exhaust like on the 9. I think that's much nicer, but I guess they've got a dirty great cat there, haven't they, now, to sort it out. Needs a tail tidy. Seat arrangement's nicer. A bit bizarre, this, but it is better. Loads of stuff on the clock. All round, got to say, from my first little bit of a ride, I'm impressed. I think it goes very well, very well. He does make my 9 seem a bit lacking, and that's not something I'd normally say about that bike. Now, this has got a lot of grunt. But anyway, there we go. That's a quick little review of it. Thanks for watching. If you like the videos, please like and subscribe. Cheers. things I didn't mention previously, which I should have done. The 10 has got a number of features on it that 9 hasn't got, which are improvements, I have to say. There's cruise control. Don't know how much you're going to use it, but I guess if you're doing long runs touring, yeah, maybe you'll use that. It certainly seems easy enough to use. I didn't bother with it, but it, you know, I had a play with it on the car park and it seemed alright. Quick shifter, definitely a great move. For those who aren't aware of what a quick shifter does, it means not only do you not have to use the clutch for the up changes, you don't have to drop the throttle at all. You just keep the throttle pinned and keep knocking your foot up and bringing the gears up. Fantastic, got to say. They move the horn button back into a sensible place, because on the 9 it's really stupid. You go to hit the horn and you fail. So definitely that's got to be a massive improvement. The bike itself feels a lot more planted. It feels a lot more stable, less twitchy, obviously less flickable as well, in fairness. It's about 25 kilos heavier than the 9. So, you know, it's made a big difference though in how well it feels. And I must admit, I prefer that, I think. But when it comes to flicking around corners, maybe the 9's got it. I don't know. You'd have to do a back-to-back test to do that properly. The riding position is much more like you sat on a sports bike, rather than the 9. You feel like you sat on a stunt bike. You know, you're going to be pulling wheelies, etc., whatever else. Now, obviously, on the 10, you're much more likely to do all that, but the position itself is much more like you're on top of the bike, you know, riding a sports bike. Again, quite like that, but that's just personal preference, I guess, between, you know, for each rider. However, the downside, it's nearly £3,000 more expensive. The current list price, I gather, of the 9 is £8,000, and of the 10 it's £10,900, so £2,900 more expensive. Is it really worth that extra money? Well, I don't know. I've got to say, the jury's out on that for me. I don't think it's worth another £3,000 over it, but you know, you'd have to try them again back to back and see what you thought. But that's the difference. But anyway, it was a great bike to ride. I won't take anything away from it. Fantastic bike to ride. More power than you're likely to ever want. All the gizmos, all the trickery, you know, traction control on there as well, which is no doubt going to come into play on that 10. It is a cracking bike, and it sounds gorgeous. There's nothing much bad about it, apart from that headlight arrangement, you know, the Johnny 5 look. Aside from that, you can't fault it. It's just you've got to decide whether it's really worth nearly £3,000 more than the MT09.